Certainly the ITV, certainly the best.
All right, beautiful people, it's another lovely episode of your favorite Men's Rendezvous on television, and it is none other than the Guys Hangout Show on independent television, broadcasting live from the City of Bronze. Yep, it is the city where the king is truly king. Now, for the first timers out there, the Guys Hangout Show is one show that encourages young people to prioritize their lives, put themselves first. You know, we live in a society where little or no attention is given to the needs of men. Why is that? Only God knows. But hey, if you don't put yourself first, who's going to put you first? So that's basically what this show exists for, okay? So we encourage young men, basically, you know, to prioritize themselves and prioritize their needs. It's only when they put themselves first and invest in themselves that they can have to give to others. Just like the adage says, you can't give what you don't have. My name is Harry Aigboje, and of course, it's my pleasure to have you join us on this beautiful episode of the show. Now, like you already know, I'm never alone. I've got some amazing gentlemen in the house with me, and together we're going to be taking a look at a very interesting topic that we have to discuss tonight. Now, to my far left is a very amazing person. He is a social analyst, and of course, he's also an educationist. He goes by the name of Ramsey Uwaila Abu. Good to have you, Ramsey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harry. And as usual, it is always a pleasure to be on the show.
Indeed.
And as good advocates of good things in society, or as satirists, the Guys Hangout Show has been a platform for us to correct some of the ills in society and as well expose its vices in order for it not to be repeated by the younger generations.
Absolutely. I mean, who's in a better position to, you know, bring some of these issues to the fore than the natural leaders of society? Yeah. You know, there are lots of responsibilities on men's shoulders. So we really can't afford not to live up to those expectations, right? All right, it's good to have you in the house. Now, seated next to him is a friend and a colleague. Yeah, he took out time from his busy schedule to be with us today.
Of course.
Yes, of course. And he goes by the name of Michael. It's good to have you, Michael.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here again to, you know, showcase and show what the guys is all about, you know, to, anyway, this is a wonderful platform for us to actually discuss things that pertains boys, guys especially, you know, the good and the bad. We don't have to be biased, understand. Thank you very much for the privilege.
Thank you so much for coming. Now, gentlemen, we have a very interesting topic before us. We're taking a look at emotional intelligence, right? The need for people to learn to control their emotion. Now, if you take a look at a lot of young people today, you will discover that there seems to be a lack of emotional control. For example, when someone is very happy, they tend to do something crazy. They tend to do things that, you know, they later begin to regret. And then when they're also very angry, they go to the extreme. Right? Some of them do some very crazy things, only for them to start regretting it later. Now, you will agree with me that there is need for emotional control. Why do you think a lot of young people don't seem to have that ability to control themselves when they are at the apogee, when they are at the height of their emotional you know, expressions?
Okay, let me say lack of emotional discipline. It's almost becoming a widespread thing in our society. Not almost becoming, it is. It is a cankerworm that is eating deep into the fabric of the society. Lack of emotional discipline among the youth today can be tied to a number of factors.
Okay.
But before going to this number of factors, I want us to dwell on I want us to give a working definition of lack of emotional discipline. To be able to discipline yourself first is one of the greatest things you could ever do in life. No, it's very easy for you to tell the next person you are not doing this, you are supposed to do this. But how about yourself? How about you? So that is what many of our youth don't have. Now when these emotions come, yeah, we know that emotions sometimes tend to take us off our our natural state, at that state where our senses are complete. But that notwithstanding, there is still need for us to take control of our emotions, because the resultant effects of our emotional actions most times are very detrimental. You know, people tend to take permanent decisions in temporary settings because they couldn't just suppress their emotions. And as youth, yeah, we all know that the youthful age comes with its own youthful exuberance.
Yeah.
There are that curiosity, that need for exploration and all that tend to make our emotions flare up, and some of us even we are not being controlled by our temporary emotions instead of sitting down to say, what will be the resultant effect of this particular thing? But what are some of the factors that are responsible for this lack of emotional discipline? One, peer pressure. My friends do it, I will also want to do it. It's almost becoming a new normal now that if you are, let me use your language, if you are the type that is rugged in quotes, so they seem to see you as a macho man, that man that is taking control over, that tough guy. So instead they want to also do so that people will call them tough guy. No one is thinking about the consequences. And these consequences most time are very, very detrimental, either in the long run or in the short time. So I think youth need to sit down and take total control of their emotions. If they are able to take total control of their emotions, it will save them a whole lot. Religiously, in terms of a relationship and all that. We'll get to that in the course of this discussion.
Absolutely, we will definitely get to that. Now, Michael, there is a story in the Bible of a king, I think Herod, who asked his wife's daughter to entertain him and his guests. Now, the lady performed so well that he was super impressed. He was impressed to the point where he, gave her a blank check, asked her to, name her price or asked for anything. And then we all know how that story went. The lady asked for the head of John the Baptist, and the rest, they say, is history. Now, that was at the height of the man's excitement, right? And that's a case in point, as far as this discourse is concerned. The fact that some men, particularly, we're actually looking at this as it affects us men, because, a lot of things go wrong when a man loses his emotion. We're not trying to, give exceptions for other people or other classes of society, women and children. But, men are supposed to be in charge.
Of course. Right?
They're supposed to be at the helm of affairs. And then imagine what happens when someone who's supposed to be at the helm of affairs loses control, like in the case of Herod. And we all, like I said, we all know how that story went.
Of course.
Why do you think some men lose it in the height of excitement?
All right. Sometimes we let our emotions get the better part of us. And we need to do things that we're not supposed to do.
Okay.
Understand? So, when a society whereby my colleague just said that this exuberance, cloud of memories, cloud of memories and everything, you get. So, right now, when some persons are in a kind of state, it's better for you to calm down, all right? Better for you to calm down and think.
Some will even recommend that you take a deep breath.
Of course, just take a deep breath. You understand? Sometimes if I can make salacious allusion, when some men are in this, what should I put it now? This ecstasy. They tend to make
rash decisions, and because of that ecstasy, something that they can't actually do. So they just start making those promises because of the height, the peak, the apogee of that excitement in quotes. So I think people should, most of the time, they have to calm down when they're in situations, whether they are. See, we have some people that are belligerent. So when they're in a particular situation, they should try to, keep calm. Just keep calm so that your emotions don't get the better part of you. Sometimes we got to do things that we later get to regret so much. In fact, you'll be like, am I the one that did this? I can't believe it. These some persons then in television, they'll ask them, so how do you feel? They'll not be melancholic, like, well, I feel bad. That's because they allowed, so they allow their emotion to get
the better part of them. So if some persons actually bring themselves to a check, like this is how should respond in situation. For example, now, all right, some persons that they're asking for donation. Some persons out of shyness or whatever, out of they want to impress, intimidation, they just begin to call. At the end of the day, now you're calling them, they're running away from.
Like we say in our local parlance, when their eye clear.
Of course, when their eye clear in local parlance, you understand. So sometimes when they're in different situations, you try to be classy.
Okay.
You know, not to fall into regret.
Now,
Understand?
there's a particular story I stumbled upon on social media of a guy that was just thinking aloud, right? You know, some of these guys will just come on social media and say certain things, like share their experiences and all. So, dude was talking about an experience he had with his, with a lady, right? He said that he used to, every time he comes on social media and sees people talking about PS5, that he remembers a certain experience he had with a lady, how that he used to play PS5 a lot, and then at some point, a certain girl he was dating at the time got fed up with the fact that he was getting too addicted to the game, and then she came, seized the PS5 and then soaked it in water, right? And that was how he lost his PS5. And ever since, every time he hears people talking about PS5, that experience just comes rushing back into his mind. Now, this, to a very large extent, has affected lots of relationships, right? We have men who just tend to lose their emotion or lose their senses the moment they are angry, for example. Lots of cases of DV, domestic violence, are born out of this, lack of emotional discipline. You're angry, someone offended you. Now, just like Michael just said, one of the measures that people usually recommend whenever someone is angry is that they take a walk, right? Take a walk away from the scene. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Now, that singular act by that lady was born out of a lack of emotional discipline. Now, how much damage do you think this could, do to society if it is not checked?
Definitely, it will increase the number of inmates we have in our prison. It will encourage more violence, as people will tend to learn from the wrong people. It will cause a lot of breakup. It will increase divorce. It will increase the rates of crime. When we're talking about emotions, it all starts from the mind. People should learn to put their mind in check. Well, before you act, definitely these things have been conceived on the mind. You tend to brood on it on the mind. You tend to ruminate on it on the mind. If you are able to keep those things, those negative things on your mind in check, it will not result to emotional outburst.
You're saying it all begins with meditation.
Meditation, premeditation. You see, some of these things that people do out of, I call it emotional outburst. They've conceived it on their mind for some time. Though some persons are short-tempered, but that notwithstanding, you still have to do with something of the mind. They ruminated on it on the mind before they will say, okay, let's take this action. So these things should be discouraged. If it is not discouraged, we'll have so many ladies who will later regret their actions in relationship. And going to the case you just cited, sir, concerning the young lady that decided to soak the PS5 of her boyfriend, immerse it in water and all that, that's because she couldn't just keep her emotions in check. Now, this is the same lady that will sit down later and say she will regret that thing she have done. That was not her intention. Her intention was just to get the attention of the man. But now that she have done it, the man is scared. If a lady could do this, next time she might decide to go for the TV or the refrigerator or any other appliances they have in the house.
So the guy seems to be living with the trauma now.
The guy seems to be living with the trauma, and the lady also live with the trauma. She's traumatized. There are some people that cannot keep their emotions in check. And after the action, they always regret it. So the guy, the lady, the emotional outburst is not okay for any of them. So what we need to tell our youth out there is they should learn to always take responsibility for their action, and they should learn to always keep their emotions in check. They should learn to always guide their hearts. Many things comes into the heart. It depends on how you ruminate on it before you give it out. The heart is like the processing unit. If you process it well and decide to say, okay, let this thing go, or I will report this to the authority, you do this yourself before doing that thing. Not you trying to just get everything that is before you want to attack. No, at the end, those are right to become wrong. So I think people should learn to discuss some of the things they intend to do
with themselves
before bringing it out.
Okay, now, Michael, while he was talking, he made reference to the need for accountability, and that's a should I call it a currency that seems to be lacking in recent time, in modern day, because a lot of persons would rather push the blame to someone else, the blame for their actions to someone else, and the blame game continues. It seems like a cycle. It's a never-ending phenomenon. Someone does something wrong, and instead of owning up and saying, oh yeah, I did this and this is why I did it and I'm sorry, they keep looking for somebody else to push the blame to. And then the person you're pushing the blame to also wants to push it to somebody else. Where does this lead us?
All right. There is this cliche which Nigerians always use. It's the devil's work.
Okay.
All right. It's not the devil's work. It's inbuilt. It's in you. You need to be cultured. You need to be disciplined. You know, sometimes you don't have to let it out. There are sometimes you just need to calm down. You just need to calm down, and that thing you want to. There's this thing that, should I call it the super ego, is pushing you to say it. You don't have, sometimes hold it down. You don't have to let it go, because when it goes out, it causes damage. You know, sometimes we need to be, not sometimes, all the time, we need to be disciplined. Like you rightfully said, see, these things they are inbuilt. If you want to, okay, let's assume we're in a particular place right now, all right, and some things are happening. I think the mind is one of the fastest system in the body.
Processors.
Yeah, one of the fastest processors you get. So you need to process some of the things you want to see. Is it going to affect this person? Is it going to affect me later? What's going to be the common pants for this thing if I let it go? So sometimes you just need to think, process everything, and before you see everything will be copacetic. You understand? So sometimes we just need to let things go.
Okay.
I myself now, some persons do complain about me some certain times. They'll say, why don't you get angry? Because I know what's going to happen if I get angry. I can't go to prison because of you. I can't spend the rest of my life because of you. So all I have this particular method. Either I keep quiet, or I start singing, or I leave. You get, so we just need to have.
Those are your personal measures.
Yeah, so I have this particular modus operandi. That's the way I operate it. So whether I start singing, maybe infuriate you, but I don't care. You get, so for peace to reign, for peace to reign, I just need to be placid. Before everything will be cool.
All right, guys, in case you're just joining us, it's still the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television. And tonight we're taking a look at the need for emotional discipline. Now, emotional discipline seems to be lacking in our day, because a lot of persons just allow themselves go when they are at the height of their emotional expression. There's absolutely nothing wrong in, being yourself and expressing yourself. But, it's very important that you learn to put a check on your emotion. Else you do things that you will regret, either good or bad. Now, Ramsey, let's take a look at the attendance effect of these things, right? Now, while Michael was talking, he made reference to the fact that sometimes the effects of these things are long-term.
Yeah, they are.
And so, for example, the things you say cannot be taken back.
Words are like eggs, and when broken, you can't retrieve them. And that is why you must mind your words, you must mind your actions. You must not throw stones at every dog that barks at you. A man that is focused will not always want to attend to distractions. Some of these things these people do, they are distractions. If you are on the moving bicycle, then there is no need to stop. Have you seen anybody that is sleeping on a bicycle?
Of course not.
No, if you want to get to your destination, you keep moving. Yeah. Now, definitely the people will get on your nerves. People will want to say things that will distract you. But like I always told my students, you don't throw stones at every dog that barks at you. That is a way of keeping your emotions intact. Now, you see the effects of emotional outburst. Most times they outweighs the benefit of it. So if you check some of the things that you will do when you get angry, then you keep your anger in check. And let's not forget, anger is just a letter different from danger. If a man is very hungry, it will lead the man to a dangerous place that the man did not even expect. So with that, I expect everyone these days to say, I won't get angry. Instead, I will report to the authority, or I will do this later. You must sit here and start looking at the resultant effects of what this thing will be. A wise man once told me, he said, we know how fights start, but we don't know how it ends. Yeah. So if you know you don't know how a fight is going to end, then don't start the fight.
Don't start the fight, okay.
So it's time for us to sit down and say, this is not the time we allow emotions to get over us. Rather, this is the time for us to keep our emotions in check. And most times you find out that you will be very happy later if you are able to keep your emotions in check. Because when you see the resultant effect of most things that will occur when you are not keeping your emotions in check, you find out that it's so detrimental. It outweighs the positive aspect of it. So I think it's always good for us to control our emotions and don't allow our emotions to control us. Like I said before, when you see people that are taking permanent decisions in temporary situations, you know that they are not able to keep their emotions in check.
Now, there's a school of thought that it's better to express yourself than to allow your emotions to accumulate. Because when you allow that to happen, it will get to a certain point where, you know, there will be an explosion. And once that explosion takes place, you know, a lot of things go wrong. Do you share that opinion?
Yeah. All right. The thing now is that I think it's a stupendous idea. See, share your opinions, but let it be packaged in a way that will not affect the next person.
Okay.
See, let's assume someone upsets me, and it's been bothering me, it's causing through my veins, you know, everything. So I want to let the person know. There'll be a way. I have to take the person away from public or from that place, so that person will not feel embarrassed. And I'll take the person to a particular place and start first. See, you need to make the person feel calm first, compliment the person first, and then start making your own complaints.
Okay.
In that, using that modus operandi, it will make the person feel guilty. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. But if you come in a bellicose manner, just
in a hostile manner.
Just be shouting and everything, it deteriorates everything. So there should be a particular way, like I said, the packaging. Just call the person to a particular place. At least the person should be reasonable enough to know, okay, for you to even bring this thing to my table, I think let us solve it. You get, if the person keeps talking and make everything worse, you can tell the person, okay, I've said what I have to say, and well, to God, I've already done my part and done my level best, and you take off. So you don't just develop a particular pattern that will not make things worse.
Okay.
Rather make things, you know, ameliorate things.
Okay.
You get, so it's just be the way you think.
All right, Ramsey, what you just said borders on manner of approach.
Yeah.
Do you share that thought?
Yes, another angle to this particular issue is that there are some things that are better left unsaid.
Unsaid, okay.
Maybe instead of saying it, and before you know it creates rancor, states of aggy-baggy, chaos and all that. But then, what you say and how you say it are two different things. You can decide to say something bad in a very good manner, in a way that the person you are talking to will not even know this thing is as bad as that. So if you must express yourself in order not to add fuel to fire, you must learn to put words in order. You know, when a child said, "Mommy, if you are my mother, you shouldn't have allowed Mama Nkechi to beat me like this. I never knew someone can beat me." The child is using words to manipulate his mother. Another person will say, "Okay, Mommy, this is what happened." Okay. So how you say it and what you are going to say matters a lot. But I think if you must express yourself, put all your skills and dexterity, your communicative skills to how you are going to put that message across. It will help settle the dust.
All right, thank you so much, Ramsey. Now, on the final note, because time is actually fast spent, what's your advice for people out there who always tend to think after they've acted? Right? There are people like that.
Of course.
Whereas the normal procedure is to think before acting. But there are people who only begin to think after they've done certain things. What's your advice for such people?
See, the mind is very, very delicate. It can traumatize you. After you've hurt someone with your words, it can come back like a boomerang. It can boomerang, come back to you. You may never even sleep because of
what you've said.
You are thinking of.
So it's your conscience that's not helping you.
Yeah, of course. You just need to think like, okay, how will you feel somebody tells you this particular thing you're saying?
Shoes,
okay. So you just need to just calm down.
All right.
Most of the time now, I believe you think like, this what I say to this person, let me edit it.
Okay.
Like I just send somebody a message.
Sometimes it's too late to even edit.
Of course, it's too late. You get. So sometimes I just throw my advice and be like, okay, I'm so sorry about that.
All right, thank you. Ramsey, you said something about, I know on the final note though, I know you already said something about discussing some of these things with yourself first. Yeah, so would that be your final word on this?
Yeah, everyone out there should learn to be in total control of their personality in all ramification.
Okay.
Don't throw stones at every dog that barks at you. Keep moving and be focused.
All right, gentlemen, I want to say a big thank you for taking out time to be with me on tonight's edition of the show. You guys made it a success, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I hope that the next time I call upon you, you will be able to oblige me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Now, it's been the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television, broadcasting live from the city of Bronx. And tonight we've been talking about the need for emotional discipline. Now, it's very, very important that you learn to control yourself. There is absolutely nothing wrong in expressing yourself. It's why you're human, right? But it's also very important that you learn to put a check on yourself, just so you don't do things that you'll regret. Nobody wants to regret their actions. It's never a good thing, okay? So it's very important that you learn to put your emotions in check. My name is Harry Igboje, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, this is me saying stay out of trouble and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another edition of Tech Today on Independent Television, your number one stop for everything innovation, gadgets, and technology shaping the way we live and work. I am Momo Lawal, or you can call me Mr. Kankan, and you'll be right. And today, we are beaming our focus on the power of the sun, literally. Yes, the topic is the power of solar innovation in Nigeria. Across the country, more Nigerians are turning to solar energy for light, for comfort, and business continuity. But how much do we really know about this solar technology that is changing the way we power our world? To help us understand this, I have with me an electrical engineer and a solar engineer specialist, Engineer Elisha Leo Asikidi. He has worked on several solar installation and energy projects, and he will be helping us unpack how solar energy works, what innovations are happening right now, and of course, what the future looks like for Nigeria. But before we dive into all of that, Engineer Elisha, how are you doing? Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning, guys.
All right, thank you very much for coming. All right, and as usual, before we go into all of this, we'll give you the biggest tech headlines that is making waves both globally and locally. We call it the Tech Updates segment. Stay tuned, don't go nowhere. Welcome back, guys. It's still Tech Today, and we are diving into the Tech Update segment. Yes, number one on the Tech Updates, we have that Apple has rolled out a groundbreaking eye tracking feature on the iPhone 16. This allows users to control the phone using only their eyes. No touch, no voice, just gaze. Okay, it uses an advanced AI to interpret where you're looking and respond accordingly. This means you can just scroll through apps, reply to messages, or even open your photo just by looking at your phone. You know, it's a game changer for people with mobility or physical challenges. This is a feature that just shows you that technology is not only about convenience, but it's about inclusion. Elisha, what do you think about that, that innovation by Apple?
Well, this innovation by Apple is actually for those who are physically impaired.
But I think it's something that I want to use, to just use my eyes to be controlling my device.
Well, you already have your hands.
But for convenience, I'm just saying.
It's just for the convenience of
you
do not have the ability to. So you use your eyes to do the...
To your phone. But I'm just imagining how it would be. We're waiting for it. We'll bring you guys more updates on that on the show, of course, as it unfolds. Next on the tech updates, we have that Starlink has introduced what we call community Wi-Fi in parts of Africa and Asia. So instead of everyone buying an expensive dish, a single Starlink hotspot can now serve an entire community at a much cheaper rate. It's like having one Wi-Fi dish in a village and everybody connects to it just like a cafe hotspot. This could close the internet gap in remote areas and give schools and small businesses reliable access. Imagine a rural area in Edo State or Taraba streaming online classes through Starlink's shared Wi-Fi. Elisha, what is not fascinating?
It is fascinating, and if you look, technology is actually evolving every day.
Yes.
And so those who were in the market before, we leave the market for the new ones.
So yeah, I really like this tech update because, as a matter of fact, it shows you that we don't even know what we're going to expect in the next 5 years in terms of technology.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good one. Big ups to Elon Musk's team. Next on the tech update, still globally, we have that Apple and Google are collaborating to establish a global safety standards for artificial intelligence. They want to make sure that AI behaves responsibly and protects user data. It's like both companies, Apple and Google is big companies, they're big companies. They are agreeing on traffic rules so that your phone's artificial intelligence doesn't go around, misusing your information or doesn't even go rogue on you. This partnership will can make everyday device safer for users worldwide. Elisha, I'm really particular about this tech update because it actually addresses privacy concern. What do you like about this?
Only thing I can say that I like about this collaboration is the fact that I can now back up my Apple memories on the Google Drive, instead of the iCloud.
And also, they are not trying to ensure that you don't. There are certain things that the cloud would know. They don't want the cloud to know everything about you. If you don't want them to know certain things about you, it will not upload such information to the cloud anymore. It will just stay locally on your phone.
Yeah,
it's a good
innovation.
Now, coming here home in Nigeria, we have that our Nigerian government has signed an agreement with a Chinese solar giant, LONGi, to build 1 gigawatt solar panel factory. The goal is to produce panels locally and reduce the high cost of importing them. So this means very soon we could start buying made in Nigeria solar panels that are going to be cheaper and easy to access. This could actually transform Nigeria's renewable energy sector and create thousands of jobs. Imagine a tech hub in Benin City that could, install affordable local panels made here in Nigeria. I know this is something relating to what we're discussing today, Elisha.
Well, it's a good initiative by the government to come into this collaboration with LONGi. Well, it has been well overdue. Because at least for it to reduce the cost of the way we buy our panels at home. So it's a good one.
Oh, man, I'm liking the tech updates as we go. And also in tech update locally, we have the Lagos State. We shared this with you a few weeks ago. That Lagos State, they are going into what we call smart traffic lights. Now, Lagos State, they are currently testing smart traffic lights that uses sensor and artificial intelligence to control timing based on real-time traffic flow. So it's like traffic lights that have brains. When one lane is very full, it gives that lane more time to move. This smart traffic system can reduce congestion and, fuel wastage in busy cities. I particularly like this one that traffic lights, smart traffic lights. It just makes me understand that maybe, normally we have our traffic light that normally move for maybe 90 seconds or 60 seconds. Now, it doesn't have to wait the whole 90 seconds if it sees that the place is now being congested. It just automatically just turns green and it allows people to move freely. It's not a good one.
It's a good one and it's actually powered by solar anyway.
Oh, it is powered by solar?
Yeah, because you can't use that when we have poor power supply.
I don't know about that power supply, but I know it's not exactly poor. It has improved.
Yeah.
So it's a good one, and but I'm scared. Will people actually obey those traffic lights?
Why not? Lagos is a place where they've advanced even more than many states in the country. So you don't just be the light there anyhow.
Okay.
You have to take.
There's a fine for that.
Yeah.
And lastly, on the tech updates, we have Inoso Motors have launched what we call an electric delivery van. So Inoso Motors have announced plans actually to release electric delivery van next year. These vehicles will run on batteries instead of fuel, and making them cleaner and cheaper to maintain. So think of this as a delivery vans that you can charge with like your phone, the way you charge your phone. There is no petrol, no noise, no pollution. This move marks Nigeria's entry into a fast-growing electric mobility industry. Elisha, imagine delivery companies now using this. You are driving your vehicles. We know we graduated from using petrol to now using CNG, and now we're now having electric vehicles, and it's now even going into the logistics area. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a perfect one for us because it's high time we start trusting our brands. And, bringing out this kind of brand, electric vehicle, well, it's a 100% plus for us.
It's a 100% plus. I am sure that we can charge them regularly because I like this, becoming fair and all of that. Now, these are the top stories that's happening right now in tech, and let us dive right now into our topic for today, which is the power of solar innovation in Nigeria. Elisha, thank you very much again for joining us on the program. So let's just begin with this basic. What exactly is solar energy, and how does this solar power technology, how does it work?
Okay, solar energy is the conversion of sunlight to electricity. It's as simple as that. Where you use, where the photovoltaic cells are being charged up through the sunlight and sent to the house. So basically, the things that you use to, store these things are batteries.
Yeah.
Then from the batteries, you get to use your inverters to invert the charges that are installed in the batteries to your house, to your homes.
Because the energy that comes there is in the DC.
In the DC,
yeah,
yes,
okay.
and which the inverter changes.
DC means direct current.
Direct current,
okay.
which the inverter changes to alternating current.
AC.
To AC.
Okay.
So, well, the process it takes is when there's sunlight, it's the cells take charges from the sun.
Okay.
Then, you have your positive and negative cables, which are from the panels to your charge controller. And these charge controllers, you use them according to the numbers of panels that you want to use for your home or businesses.
Oh.
So with that charge controller, your panels are being connected to it. Then from there to your inverter, from your battery, or your inverter to your battery, at least the battery has to power the inverter. So when all this happens, it's just like a circle. The sunlight goes to the charge controller goes to the battery, the inverter goes to the battery. Whatever is stored in the battery, there will not be sunlight for the whole day.
Yes.
So at night, the inverter inverts whatever it is that's left of the battery to give you at least power supply for the remaining of the hour or the night.
Wow, this is very, very good to take in. I really like how you explain it to us. That's why you're the solar energy expert. Now, I understand that solar energy has become very popular, and I don't know how affordable it is. Maybe you can share light on that, and also describe how we Nigerians are the progress in adopting this solar energy so far.
Well, with the high level of marketing that we engineers are already trying to enlighten people about using solar and letting them know that solar is way cheaper than you running on gen, with the high cost of fuel, you running electricity or BEDC, because many people run their homes with what they call it, high bills.
Yes.
So
most of the bills, sometimes they are even
estimated bills. So the thing is, there are initiatives that have been put down for you to be able to afford this solar. Firstly, you can go with paying small. There are companies who agree for you to pay small. You come, you give them the plans, or they give you the plans which you can get to whatever it is that you want. If it's the 1 kVA, 2 kVA, 3 kVA, 5 kVA.
So you pay by installments?
Yes, you pay installments. So with those kind of initiatives, it has become easier and affordable for people to use.
So it's not exactly expensive
No,
now.
it's not. Except you have the money, you just go for it at once.
Okay, now we've been discussing solar, and a lot of people are already using this solar energy. So now I want to understand, what are the most common misconceptions that Nigerians have about solar energy? What are the things that we're not getting properly? You can maybe share it with us.
Okay, firstly, I would like to talk on my own personal experience.
Okay.
So I met a client which I told her about going solar, because she was always complaining that their transformer gets bad more often.
Yeah.
So I said, why don't you just go solar to save you the stress, all these many talks and all. So she was like, solar that my sister's house caught fire. And I said, how are you sure that it's the solar that made your sister's house to get that fire? Why are you not saying, okay, whether it's from maybe the normal light she decided, or from her hair? Why are you sure it's solar? And that aside, is because your sister used a low-level engineer, someone with much experience, and the quality that the person used. So those things are one of the things we face. And some people will say it's expensive, so we'll try to let them know that you can pay small for these products, and you are good to go.
So the misconception most people think that solar can make their house go on fire and all of that. Persons think that solar is only for the rich. That's also a misconception.
No, not really. Anyway,
they always feel that buying any equipment of that will maybe incur more cost to you. And now they are making us understand that they can pay installments.
To get whatever it is.
So talking about solar, we know that technology is evolving every day, Elisha. So what are some of the new solar technology that Nigerians should be excited about? What are the things that are coming into solar that we can be excited about in the near future?
Okay, there are several things that are being produced right now in the market. There's the bifacial solar panels. Those ones attract charges from both the face and that's the top and the back.
Oh,
like from Honda
from the panel.
Yes.
Oh, it's attracted from top
and it gives more efficiency.
Wow. Why doesn't now get charges from bottom when the sun is not hitting there? Oh, through the heat from the aluminum or your roof.
Yes, from the roof.
Okay.
So it does another kind of innovation, and there are also other things that even the longer is also trying to do. You know, to get a kind of charge that everything that's both the monocrystalline, the polycrystalline, whatever it is, the silicon, everything put together with whatever they're producing, now charges it more than 50% of what monocrystalline would produce. Yes,
but it will not affect the battery. It will not be overcharging or too much.
No, you know, when you are getting that, it means you are getting you are getting more batteries or a higher battery watts.
Okay.
So in getting those kind of things, you have to go for maybe lithium batteries, 15 kilowatts, 20 kilowatts. At least it will charge faster, even while it's cloudy, no sun.
Oh, because that's another thing that will not restrain from solar. They say when it's cloudy or it doesn't really charge more.
That's why we advise people to go for more panels. You know, when you have more panels put together.
But more panels, I've seen this more panels as if it's cheap. It's quite expensive.
You are paying
to get
small anyway.
Okay. It's still Tech Today on Independent Television, and Elisha and I were discussing the power of solar innovation in Nigeria, and it's just sharing what is solar and what we can learn about solar. And moving forward, we're going to ask him more questions just after the break. Don't go nowhere. When we come back, we'll throw more questions on Elisha. Welcome back to the program. It's still Tech Today on Independent Television, and we're discussing the power of solar energy, the innovation of solar energy in Nigeria, how solar has really helped us in Nigeria, and what is solar energy in general. So we have Engineer Elisha, who is a solar energy expert and also an electrical engineer with us in the studio, and has been answering lots of questions for us. So Engineer Elisha, you know, I know that in one way or the other, we need government's involvement in solar. So what way do you think that our Nigerian government can help us, you know, make this affordable, this solar energy affordable, or make it easy for us so that everybody, and most people in Nigeria, not everybody can actually have access to this innovation, this technology?
Well, one of the things we actually face about the solar product is importation. The tax which has been placed on importing those solar products down to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Well, if the governments can be so kind to, you know, reduce the taxes for those products.
When you say taxes, remember our government is big on tax. Okay.
Then also, the government can also do the subsidize some of the products. At least, I know they are trying to do a factory here that can now produce panels, which is also a good thing ahead. So it will reduce the costs actually for us. Then also, private companies also are going to play a role based on paying small, the installment payments.
Okay,
So that role again would help people who really do not have much, but can pay that, you know, small.
Governments can also assist people to pay.
Yes, to at least. So that's part of also the subsidy that they can do for people to be able to get these products. Which is also
now, thank you very much. I have this question. It has been on my mind. Somebody has asked me before in the past, and I want to bring it to you now. We know solar energy really helps us nowadays in our country, but do you think solar can replace the national grid, say in 10 or 20 years from now?
Well, truthfully, it might not, or it cannot, but it will reduce.
Why?
Because, you know, you have to produce a lot of watts for people to use.
But imagine we are in a community that has, you know, many amounts of solar panels are you know, mounted there, and they say for that community, let's assume they want to go solar, total solar, and they want to cut out of the national grid.
Except that community has not had anything about national grid light or whatever.
Okay.
If it's maybe an opening, a new community,
Yeah.
and they can say, okay, instead of relying on the national grid, let's just go solar. And it's going to cost a lot also, based on, because these are new people already there. It's not as if they already had units there beforehand.
Yeah, so
So
infrastructure, right?
where you already have the national grid, so it's going to be very hard to now say you want to switch from the national grid.
Totally.
Totally, yes. So it will only reduce the usage of the national grid.
Now let's talk about batteries. You know, we know that batteries is like the powerhouse of solar. Now, I know, does this battery does it affect the cost? Is it what makes solar more expensive, or does it also affect the lifespan of solar systems?
Well, it affects the lifespan of solar cell positively.
Okay.
Because with the batteries, you cannot just be running on solar only at noon. You also have the night and maybe early morning. And these batteries are what you use to run throughout those periods.
So a good battery, how long can it last you? A good battery?
8 hours.
No, I mean, eventually, long-term wise, can it last you for 5 years before you
Yes,
take it back?
for the tubular batteries, it can last you from 2 to 3 years or more.
Before you replace them?
Depending on
The
the
usage.
maintenance culture. But for the lithium, 10 to 15 years.
Wow.
Yes, because the maintenance is done internally. You don't need to do much. As long as it's been connected well, the materials used are of good quality, then it can last you for 10 to 15 years.
Beautiful. Speaking of good quality, and also you mentioned earlier, I want to know, what are the biggest mistakes engineers make when they are installing solar? You know, share with us. You know, I mean, I believe you must have installed several panels and all of that to different clients. What are the mistakes that you think people make when installing this solar system?
Well, one of the mistakes people make or engineers make is not having a good solar installation system. How? Like, when you want to install solar, you have cases that you can build for your batteries. You don't just bring batteries and put them on the floor where anybody can reach it. A person who you are installing solar for has children, and the children can come there and, you know, just by touching the battery valves and all, you don't just leave it there like that. We have cases which we can build, and you put those batteries there. They are locked but exposed at some sites where the emission can just easily go out from. So those things are one of the mistakes they make. Another mistake is the low quality material. You're fixing a solar of 10 kVA, 20 kVA, then you are using a low quality wire of 1 mm or 1.5 mm. Now, when you are fixing those kind of things, you use materials that can hold the strength of energy which passes through, so that you don't have the scenario of this wire got burnt there, from there entered, so my house now got burnt. No, you use good quality materials. You are being paid for this, so why not just buy this thing instead of you trying to be greedy to minimize costs for it.
All right, thank you so much. I've really learned a lot today. We've had a truly enlightening conversation today with Engineer Elisha Leo Asikidi. He's an expert in solar technology. You know, he has explained to us from how solar works to how Nigerians' growing investment in renewable energy. It's clear that solar power is not just the future, okay? It is the present solution to our electricity challenges, okay? As we move towards a cleaner and smarter Nigeria, I want you all to remember that the sun does not charge anyone, okay? What we need are smart minds, of course, and the right innovation to harness it. And like Elisha said, we need to also get good materials also, so we don't go and start getting inferior materials that will not, cause us harm later in the future. All right, that is all we can take on today's edition of Tech Today. Don't forget that we do this on radio every Monday by 8:30 p.m. We call it Tech Info. Okay, join me again next week for another deep dive into the world of technology and innovation that is transforming our everyday life. My name is Momo Lawal. You can call me Mr. Kankan. Till then, stay bright, stay innovative, and keep shining with solar power. Bye for now.
Certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.